welcome. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the great African continent, being on 21st of January 2025, I am once again delighted, honored, and pleased to present to you our second pillar of the Change for African campaign, that is the potential that Africa has. Welcome. So, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, to help us navigate through the pillar number 2, the potential that Africa has, will be the youthful population that Africa has. This will be a topic of discussion, the youthful population in Africa. Let's proceed. And just a few statistics about the Africa's youthful population is that it's estimated that around 60% of the Africa's entire population of about 1.4 billion people, that the youth are estimated to be about 60% of that population of 1.4 billion people, aged under the age of 25 years. Let's proceed up. Once again, fellow continentalists, the reason as to why the African youth or the youthful population of Africa is the most coveted and valuable resource which its potential is yet to be tapped is because the youth are the people to drive our entrepreneurship journey of Africa, are the people to accelerate our creative and technological advancement industries. And also, this is a great workforce that if we will be having a substantial manufacturing industries in Africa, in different sectors in Africa, our youth will not be drowning in the Red Sea, the northern part of Africa, to go or trying to go and search for greener pastures in Europe continent. Rather, will be our youth deported to other countries, to the Arab Emirates and other European countries, to go and work as housemates there and some just demeaning staffs of our great African people. It is time for Africa to realize that we can do it ourselves here in Africa. Africa has immense potential to do that. So therefore, fellow Africans, to help us wrap up this, or to even dive deeper and understand the state of Africa in terms of its youthful population and the impact it has to our continent, is one with respect to our customary proceedings or today's African state, to help us so that we can wrap up. This is the giant Nigeria, a country from the western part of Africa, country called number 234, Nigeria, being the most populous country in Africa, has an estimated population of about 200 million people, and also it is ranked as the 6th most populous country globally. Furthermore, an approximated 60% of Nigeria's population is under the age of 25. This is a very huge workforce. And therefore, fellow Africans, I want us to have just a glimpse or to try and jump into the gist of the matter in terms of Nigerians voted actually in 2023. So we want to see or compare, because if we say that Nigeria has an estimated population of about 200 million people, and putting in mind that it has been told that over 60% or an expected 60% of this population is under the age of 25, then having some simple mathematics. So when we do the math about population that the youth in Nigeria hold is about the 60% of 200 is about 120 million people, roughly the entire Nigerian population. So what does this tell us? Because in the recent 2023, the general elections, it's only about 26 million people voted, 26 point something million people voted. So actually, these are very worrying statistics, because 26.3 million people voting or thereabout. It means that Actually, the majority of the youth didn't vote. The majority of this population, the youth maybe did not vote. We are yet to unleash how things went, but that is the fact of the matter. So, with respect to our movement, the Change for African campaign, whereby our great aim is about is not about getting into power very soon, but what we are doing is to try and see this, because the aim of this one is to try and civilize people, the civic education to people, so that people may understand, and we are not in any hurry to get into something like power, but first is to understand that this is what we need to do in Africa. And where are we to start understanding from? It is from our pillar number 1, the one we discussed yesterday, about governance. That the moment our governance still remains the same, we will never unleash our potential. So we are trying to say that we change the software of the governance. We make sure that we have good governance, so that this is the software of everything. Start from the governance. How is the government? How is the political system? And then that is when we started from there, so that as we proceed, people understand that this is the system and this is what needs to be done. Because I said before that the current political system in Africa, actually, we may say it was coded sometimes back, and we need to reshuffle that and have a very new system that understands the current situation. A system whereby we have people who respect the rule of law, we have people who understand and have the people of their continent at their heart. That is when we can unleash our potential in Africa. That is when our youth, or opportunities for our youth, will be created. The employment opportunities that our youth need, and everything that is meant to make Africa succeed, will be unleashed. Indeed, Africa has a great potential. So guess what, fellow Africans? Our Tuesday's show had just come to an end, and it was about potential that Africa has, and specifically on the youth. Youth have the capacity, and youth have the ability to drive Africa to be great. We can make Africa when we remain in Africa. And therefore, fellow Africans, specifically the youth, all this cannot happen unless we unite. Unity is the one to drive us to the greener pastures that we want as a continent. So therefore, fellow Africans, just to summarize this, is that when I go back to our entire population in Africa, when you say that about 60% of our population, or an estimated of that, is a youthful population below the age of 25, it is a very great thing. What does this mean? It means that with respect to what we are doing now about civilizing and having that education to our people in Africa in all the 54 sovereign states, it means this way, that since number 1, we are not in any way hurrying to get to any positions of power, but what we are trying to do is to first sensitize the whole youth of Africa, sensitize them, so that among them we now get people who are capable, people who understand that this is what needs to be done. And it means that if that time comes even 10 years from now, this population will now be eligible, to even go make decisions, cognitive decisions that now will help us. Cognitive decisions that will radically shift Africa from its current system, from its current state, which is a very destitute state. And Africa indeed will change. So the youth of Africa, it is our obligatory concern for our unity to continue to be bonded within us. Therefore, fellow Africans, good morning, God bless you, and let's meet tomorrow when we'll be discussing about our third pillar of the Change for African campaign. And that is, if you remember, the resources that we own in Africa. We'll have that tomorrow. God bless you. God bless Africa. Thank you.